So your bottom starts to hurt, so does your head. So the next frequency that we'll look at is 121 hertz. Now this is your anti-inflammatory program. Mm-hmm. So what did we say about putting out the fire? You've got to put out the fire first, but get rid of the scar tissue so that you can communicate, because sometimes, a lot of times, pain may be caused by a breakdown in cellular communication. So make sure that you're communicating. 77 hertz is the way to do it. 121 hertz is the start of this anti-inflammatory program. Put out the fire. Get rid of the heat. Get rid of the redness. Get rid of the swelling and get rid of the pain. Then we can go back and start regenerating. Clean up the kitchen, clean up the mess. 350 hertz is a more powerful anti-inflammatory when we need to get deeper into tissue. It's what we call it, the pain in the butt type of pain. Not from tax pain, but the other kind of pain. Where you may have damage to deep muscles, you may want to use a program that will take it deeper into the muscles, and that would be your 350. And your blue stem is your powerful algorithm that's used to consolidate sports injuries, influence the production of new cells by an increase of ATP production. We are using blue stem on acupuncture points. And later on, I'll show you how one lady in Missouri was able to close a wound, an open wound, by creating angiogenesis, which means new blood vessels right in the bottom of the wound itself, that you'll also find in bed sores and that sort of thing. By stimulating the wound bed, we were able to create new blood vessels. And I'm talking about like right now. And watch the wound close in front of your very eyes.
Wow. Wow. Oh.
That is done in blue stem.
Is that a frequency as well, or is it something different?
What's different about it is that it's like taking a chip and putting a program into the chip, wanting it to do certain frequencies, and to change that frequency. We wanted to add pulses to it. We wanted to add damping. We wanted to add modulation, and it'll all because we needed to arrive at a certain objective. This is what we call an algorithm.
Right.
So blue stem is actually an algorithm that has a bunch of programs in it.
Right. Wow. So what you're saying, so you run everything through the 60 hertz until everything is turned on and the blue light is on. You don't do any treatment until you get that established, and then if you're dealing with inflammation, you want to then work on these higher frequencies like the 121 hertz, right, for inflammation. If there's a deep pain, some injury or whatever that's deeper, it's 350. Or scarring, if the scar is present, do you do that first? I mean,
we're doing 77, yeah.
So is there a protocol that you recommend, so if people are starting, they know after they just get the brain communicating, so all the lights go on and that blue light goes on, which I like to emphasize. You don't do anything until that happens, and then what's your recommendation if someone is dealing with a pain situation, some aches in the body, headache, whatever? Is there a preferred protocol of order of things?
Yeah, it's like the Russians used to call it regulations. I call it rules. It's not, I don't want to sound like your commanding officer, but let's look at the rules. First of all, we want to clear all scars. Yes. Once we have the lights come on and the blue light come on, then we have our order of things. Get rid of the scars, go to your point of pain, put it on your anti-inflammatory program, which would be 121 or 350, and wait till you get full range of motion back. Or at least what I'm happy with is if you go in and you say, I've got a level 5 pain. Out of a 10 potential, I get 5 right now. When am I happy? I'll say 2 envelope. Then what, if you have a knee pain, do all of this process that we talked about. Then bring the pain down, walk around on it, climb your stairs if that's how you exacerbate it. Get on one of these little mini trampolines or something and exacerbate it. Then come back and treat it again. Now that is the way you will get deep resolution. Not only pain management, I want resolution.
So you activate it again, and so you feel it. And then you do the treatment and reduce it.
Right.
So just one other clarification, then we can bring this part of the training to completion because there's a lot of information here. So when you start, you want to go through the body and see where there are scars from past injuries, from past surgeries. So you don't want to proceed with treatment until you work on those scars, which you can do directly with the Avasia device, or if you had that prongy thing.
Yeah.
Either one can help get that scar conducting the energy again.
So many people have reported resolution in their issues when the scars have been treated.
Yeah, so that's just really another really important point is that people need to, they want to jump right into the site of the injury or the pain, but to get the best results, take some time. Now, one other question I want to ask real quickly: when you say you go to the areas of the scar and you do the treatment there, how long does that Avasia or does the Y probe need to be on that area of the scar?
Well, there are three things about scars that people need to know. The first one is that buildup of electrical capacity that you want to neutralize. You want it to become a conductor and no longer act as a capacitor.
Yes.
That's the first thing. And when you're running it over a scar, I'm scarless, so I can't really demonstrate on how many scars that I have. My kids tell me that I must have had my life has been a horizontal fall. I've just been lucky, that's all. I don't have any scars to report. But most people do have scars. And what you want to do is you want to run it lengthwise so that you go from point A to Z, up and down the scar, until you see a change in that scar. And one of the changes will be when you rub your hands on it, because most people do touch their scars constantly. It's almost like a reminder in their minds, of the moment that it happened. So it's a memory thing. So what they do is they run their hands over the scar. They had bypass surgery, they'll run their hands over the scar. And what you want to do is you want to run it over that scar until the scar itself visually changes and by feel changes. That's when you'll know that you have affected a change in the conductivity of the scar.
Wow, so you can see either the red, if it's red, the redness decreases, or if it's bluish, purplish, it'll lighten up.
It flattens out. It's one of these raised scars, keloid scar that we call it. When it flattens out and it starts to want to change color. Keloid scars are bad because they offer a place for bacteria to build.
Yes. Yeah.
Anything white blood cells can't get to it, they have a tendency to want to congregate.
So it's like always a stress on the immune system.
It sure does. Yeah.
Right.
So what I've done is I've drawn up here consists of 4 steps basically. Select your desired mode. Select the comfortable power setting. Now don't set up your power on the first one that it pops up, because if I turn my device on, it's going to pop up at 783. If I set my power setting to 783, then I scroll down to 60, I'm going to find it awful powerful. Because 783 hertz will give you almost like a woodpecker sound if you ran it over your skin. The lesser the frequency, the less you will feel it. So set it up to 60 hertz and set your power on that setting.
Right.
Or else when you get to 60, you're going to go, ouch.
Right, okay.
Right. So select your desired mode, select your comfortable power setting, and look for any scars that you may have. Go to 77 hertz, and run it up and down that scar, and even north, south, east, west if you have to. You might see it turns red. And the area that turns red on the scar is probably where you started tearing into your skin. And when it turns red, you know that there's a memory there because it has turned red at the apex. And you go, I've had this scar for 20 years. Why is it turning red at the apex? It's because it still is dealing with a memory. So the other component, you have a vanity component to scar. They say the surgeons will tell you the best scar's on your ankle when nobody can see it. And the third component is the emotion that's connected to the scar. If you work on a scar and only part of it turns red, there's an emotional component to it. You can bet on it.
You will.
Okay? So the time of the application on any single mode would be about 15 to 20 minutes. The amount of times you want to do it, maybe 2 or 3 times in acute states. But I would give the body the chance to deal with what the change that has happened, and I would go in chronic cases every 2 or 3 days.
Okay.
More than that kind of confuses the body. So in chronic cases, 2 or 3 days. In acute cases where you've got pain right now, you want to deal with, then maybe 3 or 4 times a day.
Okay. So chronic, just once a day for 15 to 20 minutes or less. And an acute injury, something that's just happened, you just sprained something.
Just keep at it until it comes fully under control. I could show you pictures all day long before and after shots of burn victims, accident victims, and one of the first things that they always report is the lessening of the degree of pain almost to zero right from the start.
Wow. Yeah, so impressive, so exciting. So this is just a great overview for people who are just getting their device. You can't really get the benefit of it until you get this information down, because this is your driver's manual to making the Abasia really effective for treatment for people. So this has just been great information. We've really chunked it down, John, and just help people to really understand the different frequencies, which is what this is all about. It's frequency, energy. It's energy medicine. So this has just been wonderful. I'm going to put me back on here. So let's see, split screen. Hi, I'm back. Okay. So this is our first training session. We'll be getting more of these videos out. Feel free to email me if you have any comments or feedback, so we know that we're doing a good job. But this has just been great. It's laying the foundation, John, and getting people to really understand how to set things in motion so you get the results. So thank you so much for sharing all this great information, education, wisdom with us, and we'll look